Coming up on F1 24/7 News this week, Yuki Tsunoda is signed alongside Pierre Gasly at Alpha Tauri Honda for 2021. We talk about how Yuki's career could go alongside the Frenchman, and why it's so important for Honda to have a Japanese driver in their final season with Red Bull and Alpha Tauri. Daniil Kvyat finds himself without a seat in Formula 1. We talk about his career so far and his options for 2021. Yuki Tsunoda becomes the 18th Japanese Formula 1 driver and the first since 2014 as he replaces Russian driver Daniil Kvyat to partner French driver Pierre Gasly at Alpha Tauri F1 team in 2021. Now, the big news is from this year is that Honda will be leaving Red Bull Racing and Alpha Tauri at the end of the 2021 season. And after that news broke, it sounded like Honda wanted a Japanese driver, obviously as Honda are Japanese, to replace them and really represent them in their final season in Formula 1 and hopefully carry the name of the Japanese Formula 1 image into the future. Now, Formula 1 in Japan have got a really good relationship. Of course, Suzuka, we've had some incredible races there, and as I've just mentioned there, 18 Formula 1 drivers have come from Japan. Look at names like Takuma Sato and Kamui Kobayashi, to name just a few of the amazing Japanese drivers that we've had from there. We've also had a lot of influence in Japanese motorsport constructor-wise, as Honda have been in and out of Formula 1 over the 70 years of F1 with teams like McLaren and obviously recently with Red Bull Racing and their sister team Toro Rosso, and of course now called Alpha Tauri, and also they had a stint with McLaren. It looks really good for Yuki Tsunoda next year in Honda. He's come out with a statement when he was released and mentioned to the public early this morning that he was going to be driving for the team. Probably one of the worst kept secrets in Formula 1. The worst one I could say was when we thought Nicholas Latifi was going to go to Williams, and then he did. Oh my god. But this year, it wasn't really much kept secret that Yuki Tsunoda will be signed, and it has been announced that he will be at Alpha Tauri Honda for next year. And his statement says, "I realise that I will be carrying the hopes of a lot of Japanese F1 fans next year, and I'll be doing my best for them too." Now, it is great to see Yuki Tsunoda and a Japanese driver in F1. We'll hopefully be heading to Suzuka as it is on the 2021 calendar. Of course, this year we did not go there and we stayed mainly in Europe and the Middle East because, of course, the COVID pandemic and basically a reshuffling made up Formula 1 season as we did. We did not get to go to Suzuka, and the last race, of course, was the 2019 edition. But next year we'll be going there. It will be the final race for Honda, and also we will have a Japanese driver, Yuki Tsunoda, in there as well. Take you back to 2012 when Kamui Kobayashi got a podium with Sauber. A Japanese driver on a podium, doesn't matter which step, is going to be great for the Japanese fans, and hopefully they can get back to the top step. If only, I believe that there hasn't been a Japanese Formula 1 driver to actually be on the top step, so maybe we could be looking at that. I say that because we saw Pierre Gasly. He was on the top step with Alpha Tauri Honda this year, so it can happen. It definitely can happen. So obviously that is great news for Yuki Tsunoda, who definitely was doing a good drive in Formula 2 this year. One of the biggest talents, or one of the only talents, in the Red Bull Junior program, and heavily backed by Helmut Marko and Dieter Mateschitz, of course, who are involved with the Red Bull Racing Formula 1 team. Dr. Helmut Marko has also come out and said that there was a rumour that he could have stepped up to the main spot at the Red Bull Racing team, replacing Alex Albon. But I don't know how much you want to believe into that because of, it's and Red Bull need to learn. They need to learn about what to do. Again, obviously, Alex Albon and Sergio Perez at the time of making this video have not been announced what is going to be happening with them. So obviously, we'll have to stay tuned for that. I was expecting the news to come out around the same time as this, but we'll have to, as I say, wait and see what happens with them. So let me know in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you think it'll be Perez? Do you think it'll be Albon? Super sub Nico Hülkenberg. Who do you think it will be? It could be Daniil Kvyat. Remember, let's not rule him out. And let's move on to him as well, of course. Daniil Kvyat has had a torrid, pretty rough time in Formula 1. He scored one podium, which he did in 2015, which was his breakout and more successful season in Formula 1. He scored a second place alongside Daniel Ricciardo, his teammate, in third, and of course the race victor Sebastian Vettel in the 2015 Hungarian Grand Prix. One of my favourite wins for Sebastian Vettel in the Ferrari era, and obviously just a great race all around. In memory of Joe Bianchi, that was a very special race indeed for that. He also had a podium, a third place at the 2016 Chinese Grand Prix alongside Nico Rosberg and Sebastian Vettel, even though that race was a little bit kind of marred in a funny or a strange way because, of course, he crashed crashed with Sebastian Vettel into corner 1, which led to the podium dispute, and of course the famous line, "You came in like a torpedo," which is synonymous with Daniil Kvyat. He then took a year out as he was demoted from Toro Rosso again after the trading places, so it was a bit harsh for him. He went from 4 races at Red Bull Racing. He was then demoted back in favour of course Max Verstappen as he went up to Red Bull Racing and Danny went down to Toro Rosso, and then Daniil Kvyat was let go from Toro Rosso in 2017, stepping aside for Pierre Gasly and New Zealand driver Brendan Hartley. He was then reinstated in 2019, had a very good season in 2019, looking over again Trading Places 2.0, which saw Alex Albon, his teammate, of who was only in the car since pre-season testing and actually never even driven a Formula 1 car. Of course, a Formula 2 driver. I think he was 3rd place in the 2018 season. So again, it was promising for him. But he was promoted up to Red Bull Racing, and Pierre Gasly, his the guy who took his seat in 2017, came back to Toro Rosso. He was overlooked 2 real occasions, and he could have eaten to Daniil Kvyat, but nevertheless, the Russian put his head down and did a good season. It was really good to see him battling both Alex Albon and then later on Pierre Gasly, even though Pierre was the stronger at the team, and of course got that podium in Brazil 2019. Rolling 2020, and a great season for Alpha Tauri. They did really well in terms of the constructors. Again, Pierre Gasly showing the strongest drive and the strongest form for the Italian team. He got a podium, he got a race win rather, at the 2020 Italian Grand Prix at Monza. Absolutely incredible performance. Lewis Hamilton did get a grid penalty, a penalty in the race, but really that didn't matter. He got an incredible podium, we got an incredible race, and what could have been the best race of the season as Carlos Sainz and Lance Stroll joined him on the podium. It was an incredible win for Pierre Gasly. He could have been one of the driver of the season. And it didn't go the best way for Daniil Kvyat. He was podium less in the season, but nevertheless, really good contributing to Alpha Tauri. When the news came out that Yuki Tsunoda was making bits in Formula 2 and that he was looking to be promoted as Honda were going to be leaving Red Bull Racing and Alpha Tauri at the end of the 2021 season, Daniil Kvyat was the man to unfortunately be shaken in his boots. It wasn't like he was going to be re-signed. Pierre Gasly was then signed around the Mugello Grand Prix in Italy, and then the rest, as they say, actually no, it's not history, it's today. So as the breaking news is that Daniil Kvyat, the Russian driver who's been in and out of Toro Rosso since 2014, obviously going up to Red Bull Racing and then coming back to Toro Rosso / Alpha Tauri, and even being dropped for an entire season, will not be in Formula 1 in 2021. He will be dropped from Alpha Tauri and he will not be driving. The man who has had a very up and down season in F1, and a man who I really thought was going to be a good driver, and again, being a Red Bull fan, trying to find a buffer for when obviously Sebastian Vettel, our greatest driver, left, it was looking like it was going to be Daniil Kvyat, but obviously that was not the case. I'm glad Verstappen came into the team, but we're still trying to get our head around Trading Places Part 1. But it is good for Yuki Tsunoda. He will partner Pierre Gasly in Alpha Tauri Honda for next season. As I say, the final year that Red Bull and Alpha Tauri will be using the Honda engines before they will be engine-less in 2022. It looks to be a great fit for Yuki. I'm very excited for next year. I do believe that Pierre Gasly will have the edge at the team, but it will still be good to see him. So let me know in the comment section below how you think Yuki Tsunoda will get on. What do you think the head-to-head battles will be like? He has been very strong in Formula 2, taking many podiums and race wins, battling the likes of Mick Schumacher and Callum Ilott in that season. Do you think Pierre Gasly will be able to beat him, or do you think it'll be neck and neck, or do you even think Yuki will get it? And also let me know what you think about Daniil Kvyat and where will he go. It is a shame to see the Russian driver not in F1. He is a great figure to see around the paddock. He is a good driver as well. Maybe he can even take a sabbatical or go back to being a reserve driver like he was in 2018. But again, it is hard to see him go. He's had a very torrid time in Formula 1 with going up and down from Red Bull to Toro Rosso to Alpha Tauri, to not being here at all in 2 seasons. He was able to get back on track in 2019, but it doesn't look like he'll be on track in 2021. But nevertheless, we've had a good few seasons with Daniil Kvyat. He's been a very strong driver. He did bits through the Red Bull Junior program. He earned his promotion into Toro Rosso in 2014. He then deserved another promotion up to Red Bull Racing to replace Sebastian Vettel in 2015. 2016, it was shown to be a promising season, it really was, but of course Max was wanted in that seat, and obviously that worked out very well as Red Bull Racing have the youngest ever race winner, and that will never be broken because of course the new rules of how old you have to be to enter Formula 1 now. Max is doing bits, but nevertheless he took Danny's seat, which was a little bit upsetting. As I say, 2017, 2018, was hard for him for sure. Dropped from 2 teams. 2019 was strong. 2020 strong. And he doesn't find himself in anywhere. But that is Formula 1, and he has had a good career, as I would say. So let me know in the comments section below, what do you think about Daniil Kvyat's career, and where do you think he'll be going for next year? Anyway, thank you very much for watching this special edition, this smaller edition of F1 24/7 News. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. We've got a lot of things on the channel right now, guys, so please stay tuned for that. If you haven't subscribed to us, then please do, because I'll say we have a lot coming up. We are in the midst of what we are calling the 12 podcasts of Christmas. I know, quirky name, right? We have interviewed 12 of the biggest Formula 1 YouTubers, podcast content creators, and more, and they are heading out right now. I think we're on about day 3 or something like that, but go and check them out already. First day was Tomo F1, then we did Dan from F1E Reviews, and from that, we have so many more leading up to Christmas Day. As I say, if you haven't subscribed, please do so, and hit that notification bell. You'll be notified every time we upload a video, which I highly recommend you do that, because even I lose track of how many videos we have coming up. We have so much planned for the off-season, including these 12 days of podcast, as I just mentioned, and of course, winter testing, the car launches, and heading into what hopefully it'll be a normal 2021 Formula 1 season starting in Australia. It's not many days to go now to Australia. We promise we won't say that loads, but there we go. And that was the big news from today. So the biggest news that we're waiting for is, of course, what will happen to Alex Albon at the big team of Red Bull Racing. But his former team, Toro Rosso, now Alpha Tauri Honda, have sorted themselves Pierre Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda for 2021, and Honda's final season in Formula 1. It hopefully should be a good one. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, and until next time, we'll see you later.